everyone, welcome back. My name is Dee and this is Dee's Bookish Musings. This is where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. So in this video, I am going to be doing a series where I am going to talk about a nonfiction and a fiction where the topic is similar, but one is nonfiction, strictly factual, either a historical event, an actual person's life, and then the fictional version of that nonfiction that involve characters who have gone through some of the same things. And so two recommendations that I want to recommend is The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton and An American Marriage. I'm also going to post this in the month of February, Black History Month. Now we should be reading Black books all year long, right? We should be, but specifically Black History Month. If you have not heard of these books, I wanted to introduce them to you. And so let me start with this one since I read this one like a year ago. This book made my 2024 best books of the year list. If I did a video like that, I might not have, but if I did, it should have been on that list because this one actually was so good. I actually had this book since the very beginning, since it came out, because I was just so compelled by the actual interview. I saw him being interviewed on Good Morning America, something like that. So I just read it like last year. Anthony Ray Hinton is the man that this memoir is about, and he is talking about his experience of being accused of a crime that he did not commit. And this one is actually a murder. Okay, he was wrongly convicted and spent 30 years in prison for a murder, y'all, that he did not commit. Not only did he not commit the murder, there was no evidence, no real tangible evidence that placed him on the scene of the murder. The man was at work, okay? The man was at work. He had witnesses. I don't want to, go all into the details, but it's about the systemic incarceration of Black men in America. This book was so touching. It did make me cry because when the odds was against this man, he never gave up. He found a way to even start a book club in prison, amongst his peers, right? Who were, some of them, died, right? They were murdered. He had hope. He never gave up. So if you want to read something enlightening, okay, if you don't know a whole lot about mass incarceration of Black men, I will put some statistics here on the screen about that. Read this book. It's very, very touching. It's got a lot of statistics. It's factual based. He had a great lawyer. His lawyer was Brian Stevenson. Brian Stevenson actually has a book called Just Mercy. I've seen that book so many times in the used bookstore, but never picked it up. But I think I want to read it because I did just see it again just recently. There's also a Netflix movie, Just Mercy, about I don't think it's his story. I think it's about somebody else's story, but he was the same lawyer, right, that represented him. Very, very good book. I do want to suggest that you make this a priority. It's not long at all. However, for a nonfiction book, it is a page turner. It is so interesting. It's so interesting of a read, emotional. It's going to leave you feeling some type of way. It is, but you'll be left with an enlightened mind and more sympathetic, I would say, to Black men here in America that are wrongfully convicted. So I wanted to talk about this one because the next book is a fictional novel of a couple where the husband was incarcerated for a crime he did not commit, and it's called An American Marriage. Now, I just did a review of this book here on my channel. I will leave it here. Not a review. I did a reading vlog. Reading vlogs are more detailed, like videos of me going through the process of reading the book, giving a little bit more details than I would just, generally talking about the book. So you can check that video out if you're interested. But this, again, follows Roy and Celestial. They've been married for a year and a half, so they're newlyweds when Roy gets wrongfully convicted of a crime. I won't say what the crime is because it doesn't say on the back of the book, but he is wrongfully convicted of a crime that he did not commit, and it follows him and his wife, and it shows parallels of like the non-fictional book, like how it breaks down the family structure of these black men who get convicted. More likely than not, these men have families, right? They have families, they have wives, kids who are left behind and torn apart by their conviction because they're put away for years and years. We saw that in this book right here, as well as the fiction book. We saw how it broke down even further Celestial in his marriage. They were newly married. They didn't have a chance. They didn't stand a chance because it was so new. And for someone to be wrongfully convicted and taken away just like that, when you're just getting used to being married to someone, never having the opportunity to build that solid foundation. Although it's fiction, this stuff happens, okay? This book was a solid read. I really did enjoy this book. While this book focuses on like an actual couple, fictionalized couple, but very real because these things happen, this one is actually talking about a man's experience going through that whole process and actually being locked up and how the system tore him down in real life. I wanted to introduce those two books to you in hopes that you will read those books if you have not. If you've read this book, which you probably have because this one has been out for a while, but if you have not read the nonfiction memoir of this man, I would definitely suggest that you read this one. It's very enlightening and it will give you more details that this one does not give you. This one actually just talks about more of the couple versus the systemic issues or breakdown of the system of incarcerating black men. So that's the video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave all your feedback down below. I will see you guys in the next video.